In Lesson 5, we're going to answer the question, how do I select which dimensions to use to find perimeter and area? If you look at workbook page 59, you're going to see a variety of triangles and a variety of parallelograms. That's because that's where it gets really confusing as to which measurements or which dimensions you need. And dimensions is just another word for things like the length or the width or the height, the base. Those are dimensions. Now, we're going to focus on figure B at the top. We have looks like an obtuse triangle. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the perimeter of it. Well, remember, perimeter is when you add up all of the outer edges, right? The sum of the outer sides. So 17 is definitely involved. So is 9. And I need this 10 here. Notice I'm not including the 8. I'm not including that height there because that's not really an outer edge of the triangle. So let's see. Perimeter of this triangle, I would have to do 17 plus 9 plus 10. And that's going to give me a perimeter of 36 centimeters. Now, let's talk about area. Area is different. Remember, we need base and height. The area of a triangle is always going to be 1/2 base times height. Well, we have a base of 9. The height, let's see. Remember, base and height need to be perpendicular. So 17 is definitely not perpendicular to 9. The 10 side, that's not perpendicular to 9. It's got to be this 8 here. That 8 is showing you the height of the triangle. It's 8 centimeters tall, and it is perpendicular to the base when you extend the base out a little bit, and you can see the right triangle. So I would have to do 1/2 times 9 times 8, or 9 times 8 and then divide it by 2, your choice. But either way, you're going to get a area of, that's 36 as well. But this time 36 square centimeters. Okay, moving on. Now we're looking at some parallelograms. We're going to focus on figure E. First, we're going to figure out the perimeter. Remember, the perimeter is when you add up all of those outer edges. So we've got 7 here. We've got 4 here. We know this is another 7 up here and a 4 down here. So if I add up all the sides, 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4, I'm going to get a perimeter of 22 centimeters. Now let's look at area. Remember, base times height for finding the area of a parallelogram. We don't have to worry about that half there. So base is 7 for sure. And the 3 this time is the height. Notice I'm not using the 4 when it comes to finding the area because I need base and height to be perpendicular, and that 4, that slanted side, is not perpendicular to my base of 7. So area is going to be 21 squared centimeters. 7 times 3 is 21. Let's take a look at workbook page, workbook page 60. You are given a variety of parallelograms and triangles, and you have to, kind of pick out the base, and then, where would you draw that height? Where would you put the corresponding height line? And then you can actually find the area of it. So that's what we're going to do here. For numbers 13 and 14, they're both parallelograms. So let's see, if I were to pick out the base, I would say maybe this is the base, or this could be the base. Either of those could be the base. Now I need to figure out the height. I'm not going to use these slanted sides here. They're not going to help me. I need base and height to be perpendicular. So maybe I want, let's see, maybe I'll use this as my base, because that's perpendicular. I'm sorry, as my height. Maybe I'll use that as my height, or this one, or that one. There's a couple different choices. So I'm just going to go with the first one that I have here, and I'll make the height line right there, because I can tell that this is perpendicular to my bases. Now it's time to actually find the area. Let's see, my bases are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters long, and my height line is 3 centimeters long. That means I'm going to have an area of 15 squared centimeters. Looking at number 14, now we have another parallelogram. Let's see, my base could definitely be this one or this one. It really doesn't matter. And now for the height line, this is where it gets tricky because I don't see any way to connect those two bases inside the parallelogram. This is going to be one of those parallelograms where I'm going to have to draw the height line outside the parallelogram. So maybe I'll draw it out here and I'll extend the base out so that you can see that 90-degree intersection. Or you might want to do it over here. This side would work too. You can make that your height line and extend your base at the top. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. So I'm going to go with the first one. And let's see, we've got a base that is 4 centimeters long and a height that is 3 centimeters tall. So now we're going to have an area of 12 square centimeters. So as you go through this page, figure out where would you put the height line. How are you going to make the height perpendicular to the base? Alright, our takeaways, not too many this time. Dimensions, that's just another word for the height, the length, the width. Those are all dimensions of a figure. And remember, the length of all the outer sides are needed for the to find the perimeter, and the lengths of the base and height are going to be needed to find the area. And of course, base and height are always perpendicular.